So we're here at my first interview on this particular trip to Napa, and I'm in the wonderful area known as the Coombsville AVA, which is due east of the city of Napa. And I'm here with John Caldwell, founder of Caldwell Wines, and we're here in this incredible room. John, how are you?
Well, I'm doing great, man. You picked a hell of a day.
Well,
once in a while we get rain in Napa Valley, and we did get a little. Caught me on my ATV today. Got a little wet.
but then again, that's part of being a farmer, right? That's part of the deal.
And you know what? I love it.
No, I can see that on your face.
I love to feel the rain.
Yeah. I'm just going to set this up real quick to let people know we're in it's your cheese house.
Yep, this was the old cruiser cheese. The people I bought this ranch from 50 years ago were in the cheese business, and this is why we call it the cheese barn.
Well, it's very woody, wood floor.
Oh,
really
this is rustic.
Yeah.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, and it is very real. Low ceiling, nice big beams. But I want to let our audience know we have some people doing a tasting next door, and that's totally cool. We're just going to work our way through it, and if there's any problems, we'll just start throwing things at them. But for the time being, we're good. So, John, this is a real pleasure to meet you because you've got a lot of history here, and all the stuff you do here blows my mind. Let's first talk about the property and the history behind it, because it goes way back, right?
It goes back, for me, it goes back 52 years. Well, a realtor showed me this land in 1974, and I was just looking for a rundown piece of property that I could fix up and turn it into kind of a real estate deal, fix up the houses or whatever. And she showed me this property on a rainy day, kind of like today, in January of '74. And it was priced way too high. It was priced at $120,000 for 3 houses and 54 acres. She really screwed me. I wanted it, so I paid her the $120, and Christ, it was only worth $115 or so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, times have changed, haven't they?
Times have changed.
It might be worth a tad more than that now.
People have offered me double, triple my money.
Yeah, at the very least. So what about your own wine journey, though? How did you find your way into wine?
The whole wine thing is really, it's a cute little story. I'll try to keep it short. When I bought it, it was a real estate deal. I was going to break it into 5 10-acre parcels, fix up the houses here. And I would have done well. The timing was pretty good. 76, we won that tasting, and all of a sudden Napa became, into the people that bought wines, became a big deal. And the county wouldn't let me subdivide. Okay. I'd never tell them. They did me the biggest favor of my life, but it turned out to be the biggest favor by not allowing me to subdivide it. So I had to do something in 1980, decided to plant a few acres of vineyard and fix up the Victorian here, and I could have sold it as a little vineyard operation, and I would have made some money. But during the first year of doing a lot of ground prep, 1981, I drove out in my black Cadillac with gold chains hanging around my neck, and to see, because they were running into a lot of rock. It's a volcanic hillside, so we have a lot of rock. And they wanted to discuss what they're going to do with it, and one thing led to another. I climbed up on a D6 Cat, and the guy started going around the field showing me all the problems he's having and what to do with the rock and all that kind of stuff. And that morning, I had my epiphany, April 1981. And by God, that day I became a farmer. The rest is history.
How many acres did you have at that time?
At that time, only 54.
And how many acres you got now?
123. It didn't go up in value really quickly, so I was able to put together another 70 acres for about $3,000 an acre. The timing was good.
Obviously, you were bitten by the bug in the biggest possible way.
Oh, it was what I wanted to do the rest of my life. I knew that. Isn't that something?
It is.
I was 38. Man, oh man, it turned out to be wonderful.
Well, I've said this about 100 times. Usually, wine chooses you. You don't choose wine, right?
It's exactly right. everybody in this damn business loves it. They friggin' love it. I mean, it's no matter where you travel in this world, if they're in the wine business, they're a type of a person, and they're generally pretty good people, wonderful people. That anyway. So for me, it's just been a wonderful life. For gosh, now it's what is that? 45 years.
Why are winemakers always so happy? I have no idea.
I don't have any idea. It's just a wonderful, wonderful profession.
The Coombsville area, which only became an AVA how many years ago? Was it about 8?
12 or 14
12,
years
14.
ago.
Okay, so I'm way behind. And it's completely different than any other part of Napa.
It really is different.
It's a must visit, whether you come to tasting rooms or simply just to tool around in your car, because it's rolling hills, very unique, and you get the real feel of the farm. You feel the dirt.
It still does feel like farming. You're right. There isn't any commercial. Well, and really, it hasn't changed that much since I've been here. I was the first real. There was one other cab, I think, started in 1981 or 82 vineyard. But the combined us two together, I think there was probably only about 40 acres of vineyard in Coombsville at that time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there was. People never viewed it as a viticultural area.
Sure. Well, it took a long time for it to become one. It took quite a few years.
It took a long time. We had to prove ourselves.
As you should. That's fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the wines now prove themselves for those who've had
Really
them.
prove them. We are a unique appellation. There's nothing like us in the world, really, when you think about how they drew the line, followed the Caldera. And that really puts us in a kind of a whole different kind of an appellation kind of feel. Most appellations are just somebody draws a line and says, you're Oakville, you're Rutherford, that kind of thing. This one here follows the old Caldera.
So what makes the Coombsville AVA special?
So in 1981, we needed to know, well, I needed to know what varieties to plant. I mean, I knew nothing about Coombsville, and at that time, they thought it was so close to like Carneros that it would be too cool for Cabernet. And I didn't really want to plant Pinot, I don't know, whatever the reason was. So I put 2 hydrothermographs out in 80 and 81, found out that we were warmer with those 2-year highs and lows. We were warmer than Bordeaux. It changed my view of what to plant from Chardonnay Pinot to Cabernet or Bordeaux varieties. And in being close to Carneros, we get those cooling breezes every day. And now with global warming and all, it's really, in a way, made us more of a premium area going forward, because we just don't have those super warm days like above Jonfelder. So that's got to play a huge role. And then another thing, being on in a caldera and being on the hillsides of a caldera, a lot of volcanic rock. So we have Aiken clay, reddish brown soil that's got the first 2 to 4 feet is just full of rock from volcanic eruptions and all. And then underneath that is tuft, or the compressed ash. So it's got all the nutrients. I mean, it's pretty damn good stuff. It's got the drainage, because we have slopes all the way around the Coombsville area, and this beautiful temperature. The highs and lows are almost ideal for red wines. And that's really what it's all about. It's the terroir, where it is.
I wanted to talk to you about your diversity of the wines you're growing here and the clones, the various different kind of clones. What brought you to this idea of having the various amounts of clones?
In 1982, I brought Gallo McLean to France. He was a graduate of the University of Bordeaux, and kind of like a mentor for me at the time, because I didn't know anything about. And since I found out we were warmer than Bordeaux, I decided to go red. And so I asked Gallo, I want to take you. I took him to Bordeaux. We stayed a week in Bordeaux and a week in the south of France. And during that trip, we ended up at Chateau Aubryon, and he wanted me to see, his wonderful, wonderful Chateau Aubryon. So I get to go there, and man, it was like going into the Vatican, man. I just loved being there and seeing the vineyard. And they brought us into a room about the size of this room, and it was set up for their clonal research. They were going to be replanting the very famous Aubryon vineyard over a period of years, and they wanted to make sure they had the best genetic material of all the different varieties that they grow there, and had set up this lab, actually working with the ONTAB, with the government of France at the same time. And they had a block they called the clonal block. And it was probably about 2 or 3 acres within Aubryon. And these individual single vine selections of Cab, Merlot, Cabernet Franc were planted in a row. And they were making these micro vinifications with these 1 rows of different clones. And it was connected, this is 1982, it was connected to a computer.
Oh, really?
A French Bull computer. And I'm going, what the hell is this? We didn't have anything like this in California. Yeah. I mean, nothing like this. So they gave me some brochures on what they were doing and why they were doing it. And I remember going back to my hotel room and kind of thumbing through and going, well, whatever these clones are of Cab, Merlot, Cab Franc, just what I wanted, I thought, I got to get these for my vineyard, Christ. So if you do it legally, it takes about 7 years. And 10 years later, I actually did approach the government of France and became a licensee of the French government. So I brought in now, which is a collection of over 60 clones from the ONTAB program, and that's all legally. But in my history, of course, I couldn't wait 7 years. I mean, shit, I was borrowing money at 16.5% back in '82.
Yeah.
So I had to get this thing done quicker, and that's why it ended up that I found a guy in Canada who had imported some French clones, and he happened to have just the clones or at least the varieties I needed, 2 clones of Cab Merlot and Cab Franc. And that's why I became known as the Smuggler, because I got caught bringing in one of my loads.
That's not a bad thing to be called.
No, that got me started. Okay, so I planted them in their individual blocks. All the rows were marked. And the first wines that we made out of these clones in 1986, we actually got a little crop. Even though it was in the 3rd year, we had a little crop. We made some wines out of them, and right out of the chute, we knew we had something good. And so that really encouraged me to stick with French clones, and then I got more and more into it. Used to go back to France about every year to increase my knowledge. And like I say, I became a licensee of the French government, so they opened up their whole program to me, and I got to really get into the clones. And by opening up and me going around France, I got to taste all the different areas, Chablis, Champagne, even in the Alsace area, areas of the Rhone, Languedoc-Roussillon, all the way over to the west side, where they grow Tannat and different unique reds. Anyway, I really got to know the different varieties, so I've got 9 different red varieties growing here, all based on French clones. And it's a pretty unique vineyard. I don't think there's anything like it in the world, really, a production vineyard. So, but it's every one of them makes good wine. It's the goddamn Coombsville. It just loves to make good wine out here.
And that's why we're here.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah,
He's exactly right.
For our listeners who'd like to be able to taste here, I assume this is not the kind of venue where people could just belly on up. Do they need to make an appointment? How does it work here?
Well, all of ours are private tastings. We just do 4 a day. We do a 10, a 12, a 2, and a 4. And you just call, make your appointment, and I mean, if you really wanted to see John fucking Caldwell, you just tell Chantel, our concierge, that John's got a show, and I will show. I won't probably give them their tasting, but I will be there and hug and kiss and that kind of thing.
Oh, I think that'd be worth the time. And I've heard about this guy, John. He's a bit of a character. Where's a cowboy?
He's a goddamn character.
Yeah. John, for our listeners who'd like to learn about you online and to see this beautiful property and what you've got to offer here, what is your website?
Well, you just hit Caldwell Vineyard or Caldwell Winery, and it's a pretty in-depth website. We've got pretty much everything in there. We got the smuggling story in there. We've got all kinds of. Well, my wife goes to a great extent to have it visually very attractive. And you've got, you got the Caldwell story. It's kind of fun. And then you got the phone number to call and book a tasting.
It's the way to do it.
And pretty easy.
This has been a fun afternoon being here and seeing all the calamity going on, which went on before the interview, which was great fun. I thank you for your time, and I hope we get to meet again. Thank you very much.
Well, shucks, Ray. Okay.